Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Sarah and today I am going to give you a tour of our food pantry, our food storage system, and how we've, over the last 2 years, basically built a grocery store in our own house. We have a lot of foods that will serve our family, feed our family up to 6 months, and even in some cases up to a year in some foods. So I'm going to show you our pantry, and then I'm also going to give you some tips at the end of this video to give you some ideas on what we did that might help you if you're wanting to build your own food storage. To start out with, we are in no spend January, so let me give you some updates on how it's going at our house. We're in day 4 of January when I'm filming this, and we spent no money on the 3rd, and we're not going to spend any money today on the 4th as well. We're only paying bills and giving like we normally do, and we're not spending extra money on anything that we possibly can get away with. We will buy some fruits and vegetables that are fresh as needed, as little as possible, and we also will buy milk and eggs. So everything else we are making or making do without. So far it's been going great. Last night we had spaghetti. I did baked spaghetti just because I had some cheeses like mozzarella and Parmesan left over from last month at Christmas time. And so I thought I'd make spaghetti a little better by baking it with cheese on top. So we did that. We used our home canned spaghetti sauce, 2 large jars of it, and some noodles from this pantry I'm about to show you right now, some beef from our freezer. We buy whole cows at a time. And then we also used broccoli from our freezer, and we had homemade fresh bread. We keep all of our bread ingredients on hand, a lot of it, so we could go months of making bread always without needing to go to the store. So that's what we had for dinner last night. Tonight we have some chicken drumsticks thawing that we're gonna make something good out of, not sure what yet. Now back to the pantry. We are at our farmhouse right now. So we bought a property earlier this year, and we decided to move our food storage out here. It is just a better space for storing things. It's easier to deal with, better shelving, all that kind of thing. And we also thought, you know, in an emergency situation, we would rather have our food storage out here. This would be our place we would go to if we had a long-term situation that was more of an emergency. So it made sense to bring our food out here. I've never showed you guys this area before. Stocked with food. It's going very well out here. I've got a lot of areas, like I said, stocked with months of food, and then some up to 6 months or a year. So I'll show you that as we go through it, but this is really where we shop out of. I did not clean up this room for you before turning on the camera, so this is just the real raw deal. We've made a little living room out of the middle of the storage because it's a small house, and we do spend a lot of time out here with our 11 children. So having an extra living space has helped us a lot. But let me get on to the food. Up there we have some boxes of tortilla chips. We have 1 box at our other house, so it's 4 months worth. That is all that we have because we plan to go through one of those boxes about every month. So I really could use more of that. I would like everything to be at least 6 months. A year would be awesome. We have a lot of salsa here, and as we go through, I'll let you know there are some things that I for sure would rather be canning myself when we're able to have a big garden. See, it's not that much. There's some extra paint supplies and stuff that the previous owners left us that are back there still, but I could clear that out and definitely make room for more. We do go through a lot of salsa when we're cooking. We have just a little bit of raisins. We don't store those much anymore because one of my little ones that loves raisins gets sick with them, so we just kind of avoid having them around as much. Then we have a bunch of crackers. I try to get the healthiest crackers I can find. It would love to just be only making our crackers, but it is nice to store some convenience foods that are easy to just fill up with quick. So I do like having a bunch of those. I have been ordering big packs on Amazon that just come in our subscribe and save. And so that really helped me build up my storage of that. Here's a bunch of applesauce here. This does go back really far. And then there's some jam, something else. Those 2 I would love to be making myself if we were growing our own fruit. Goals one day. We got a bunch of tomato paste. These boxes are 12 cans and we have 4 of them. So that goes back a little ways. There's only a couple meals we make regularly with that. One of them's a Kenyan dish. Then we have a lot of tomato sauce here. This also goes back pretty far. We have about 8 boxes of 12 cans each, just a little less than that because we've been eating out of it. We have a lot of coconut oil stored here. And then we have diced tomatoes in this section, Rotel, We have 4 boxes of that right now, plus 1 box at our other house. In all of these, there's corn too. So with all of this food, we have our main storage here, but we have a little of all of this at our other house. We come here regularly, so I always have a list going of what I need to bring home to replenish at our house that we live at most of the time in town. Oh, here's a game stuck in the ketchup, but that is all ketchup. I do love this ketchup that we get from Azure Standard. Viewers told us to get it, that it's really good ingredients compared to just the store-bought Heinz. So we've stocked up on that and it's good. The kids actually really like it for all the healthy ketchups we've tried. This one, they do not complain about at all. Oh, see, I'm trying to fix it here. Fell over. We got a lot of olive oil here. So these are the 2 oils we cook with the most. Okay, and here we got a lot of mayonnaise that, I should be making myself, but I'm not right now. I always say that about mayonnaise. I used to make it and now I don't, and I need to get back to it. A lot of maple syrup here and a lot of peanut butter here. So those things I just always check when I'm making my grocery list and replenish what I need to. Down here we have 2 large 5-gallon buckets rather of white basmati rice, and then over here we have 2 buckets of brown rice. So not sure how long that will be in these pantry challenges, or this like no spend challenge we're doing this month. It really helps me to see how much food we have, how long it would last us rather. So that'll be interesting this month. That's a bag of salt that I just need to put in containers and haven't yet. Here's more pieces of that throw burrito game. We got beans here, white corn rather, big thing of black beans, and a big thing of dengu, which is green grams that we cook with Kenyan dish a lot. Black beans are and dengu are the 2 beans we store the most of because it's the beans we eat the most of. And then as you'll see, we have a bag of white rice that needs to go into those buckets soon as well. So up there we have a little extra dog food. We have some in the garage too. I don't know why we have it spread out a little. These are some soups we've canned, home canned, some stewed beef. I would love to have a lot more of that, but I just don't. I have 4 of every can we have here of home canned stuff. I have 4 of every can at our other house, just so that I can have what I need when I'm cooking something, and then we'll bring more home to replenish whenever we need it. These are all broth, beef broth, chicken broth. They're all labeled. Some ground beef, which I probably won't do again. We didn't love that. We got some kidney beans here, just a couple. We have several, like I said, at our other house, and chickpeas, so we're running low of that. White beans, black beans, lots of those, and then we have a lot of home canned chicken, which really helps us save freezer space. These are very good. It's way better than store-bought chicken, canned chicken, although we do have that. Before I started canning chicken, I bought store-bought chicken, so we try to use that too in with these, but we like these a lot better. But I don't want those to go to waste, so we're using both. This is home canned spaghetti sauce. I didn't grow enough tomatoes this year, as much as I would like to have filled shelves full of those. Every time we cook, we go through 2, sometimes 3 if we're having company, making a bunch of lasagnas or something. So we go through those really fast, but they're very good. I have such a good recipe for some home canned spaghetti sauce. And then there's coconut milk too, plenty of that. We got more chicken hiding back there in a bag of hard white wheat berries that needs to be put away, but I'll show you that in a minute. I also get a number of things off Amazon Subscribe and Save that are just more processed food, I guess you would say. It's good. I won't do it forever, but just having it come once a month, which I canceled it this month, by the way, for no spend in January, but just having, I have a couple of those boxes that come every month. So we eat a little, we'll try to eat only 1 a month, but sometimes that doesn't happen. And then save what's extra. Those are popsicles. Those are really good popsicles. Oh, they don't have a good picture of them, but the ingredients are very good on those. So I like those. These are all Annie's mac and cheese, these boxes. So same thing, we'll eat about 1 of those a month just for like an emergency. Oh, we're not cooking. Mom and dad are going out and the kids are like, hey, let's do mac and cheese. Just an extra thing like that. I always think it's a good thing to have that kind of thing in your emergency storage, just like this canned soup too. Just something that's very easy, that doesn't take a lot of home cooking, that the kids can make quickly by themselves, even the younger kids. Not a ton of it, just, you know, you gotta have something for those last minute things. So I'm always thinking about what could be really quick and easy, but also fairly healthy. I don't know if you guys consider Annie's mac and cheese fairly healthy, but I do. It's good enough. It's balance, guys. Balance all the time. Ever since they've tried the Annie's compared to like the other brands of mac and cheese, the box mac and cheese, they have loved it. It is really, really good. I agree with them 100%. It tastes way better than the other kind. So just more expensive, and the boxes don't make as much. So that's the deal with that. These are lollipops. My friend told me once that it's always good to have some sweets, treats, an emergency situation, you know, that it just helps to have something that makes everybody smile. These lollipops are really actually pretty good too. They have vitamins in them. They're called the Yum Earth. Get those off of Amazon here and there, and we eat them regularly now too. The kids do. So I don't like them personally, but the kids really like them. This is some dark chocolate that I've stored up that also came from Amazon. Some Kenyan tea, definitely a staple in our house. And this is some lime. I could not find lime for a long time. Just lime juice. I have lemon juice here. So we got these lime packets and haven't used them much, but they're good. Soy sauce, we got a couple of those, and this is all Worcestershire sauce, which we have a lot of meat in our freezers, and Solo loves that sauce when he's cooking. Those did not come from Amazon. That's the stuff that came from Amazon. We got it one Biscoff cookie butter. That stuff is good, man. Okay, oh, and there's some other, the ramen is obviously a really quick eat. And we have a bunch of Lara bars that came off of Amazon too. So we eat these here and there. They're a nice convenience food when you're running somewhere. My kids don't all love them. My little ones do a lot more, and I do. But if we had to eat them and we needed something quick and easy, this would be a great option. They do like it enough for that. They're just not like drawn to eating them all the time, which actually I prefer. Because we can save them up for when we really need them. So we go through about one of those boxes a month, so we've saved some. I'll probably stop getting them because we have plenty now, but the ingredients on these Lara bars are so good. So for instance, these peanut butter chocolate chip ones are dates, peanuts, semi-sweet chocolate chips, and sea salt. So that's that. We got some dried milk here, a little leftover brown sugar. We don't buy brown sugar anymore, we just make it. And then some baking powder down here, some white beans. I have more, I guess I don't have a lot of beans right now. We've cooked most of them up. I have some actually at our other house that just need to come out here still. All right, back here on the other side of our living room, my kids each have a dresser drawer for their stuff, and then we have a mattress back here. But I'm going to take you back in this corner, get some light back here, and show you what we're storing back here. It looks like somebody is storing their clothes on the floor. If you have kids, I guess you would understand. Up there we have our noodles. It's like spaghetti noodles, linguine. I would love that shelf to be fuller because we do think every time we eat spaghetti, it's 2 boxes of one of those things. But it is quite a bit right there. Definitely 6 months worth easy. And then we have some freeze-dried food. We were trying out a couple of them because we haven't tried them before, but this is not something we will eat regularly. This is the only thing I would say we're not eating regularly. We just wanted to have some freeze-dried emergency, really long-term storage things. So each of these kinds that you see here, I have 4 of. I just picked up anything that I thought we would eat. I tried to focus on the fruits and vegetables mostly, but we do have some meals like creamy potato soup, creamy chicken rice that we could add stuff to easily, or, you know, it fills the belly. Cheesy broccoli soup there, and there's vegetable stew. I don't have any meats. I have peanut butter powder and cheese powder, and otherwise it's all fruit. Or vegetables, I guess. Anyway, we did open the mango, and that was good. The kids loved snacking on it. And the creamy potato soup, I think Judah's tried that and said it was good. So otherwise, we're saving all that stuff. I bought them all on Amazon when they were 50% off or more. I just waited for sales and then would buy 4 at a time. They are not cheap, but yeah, it's worked out pretty good, I guess, to have all that. It just makes you feel better to have some long-term storage. And down here we have other noodles. We have penne noodles and rotini. Is that how you say that? I guess. They are the kind of noodles we eat for lunch mostly. Then we have a lot of these buckets here. We have hard red wheat. A lot of that, 6 buckets full. We have 2 of hard white wheat. I was just having a hard time getting to those, so I'll eventually switch most of these to hard white wheat next year if I can get more of that. We had a year's worth of hard red wheat, and now it's definitely less than that. We eat, when we are making all your bread, you go through wheat really fast. The nice thing about wheat berries is they last a long time. They store really well. Here are some of the wheat berries. These are the red wheat berries, and the reason we can store so many of these wheat berries is because we have the mock mill wheat grinder, and that really helps us turn these berries into flour. So the berries last a long time. The mock meal is an investment, but it really saves us so much money in the end because we can store up these berries that are a really good price and make our own bread. We can store these for a long time, then make our own bread out of them for a year or even a lot more than that compared to just buying store-bought flour. I'll put a link for that mock meal in the description box below if you're looking for something like that. We have a little white flour left and a little white sugar, some soft white wheat berries, which is more used for pastries, and then we have all these buckets here. We have a ton of oats here. So this pile is all empty buckets. This is a little white flour left, but everything else is oats, 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 oats. We go through a lot of oats. We make our own granola and we eat oatmeal, and those things alone make us go through a lot of oats. Got some more empty buckets up there, a couple. So right now I have 6 empty buckets. Once enough of them are empty, I'll order more big bags of oats from Azure and make sure those go in the back, so we're only taking from the front. That's how we do all of this food. We take from the front and replenish in the back so that we're eating through all of it. These are the little buckets that I keep at our other house. I got them at Sam's Club. They're just, see, they're about that size. And I brought them here today because I need to refill them. Some hard white wheat, hard red wheat, and white sugar. And then I'll take them back home to our house. And that's what we're eating out of at home. I would also do that if we lived at this house. I would just keep these upstairs. In fact, I have some for all of our main items upstairs in a pantry as well. So we would just keep a small container that's easy to get into, easy lid to pop on and off. It is easy, but I'm using my wrong hand. And that's how we eat out of day to day and cook out of. Although this is a basement storage room, we've turned into a living room. There is a brick wall on one side, but I do love how they have that wood paneling here they put behind all the utilities there and stuff. So it's kind of cool. It's a nice vibe of this room. I don't mind it. Don't mind being down here. It's fun to stock. I keep this chair that's missing a screw here to step on to get up high on things, and it's working out really well. This shelf I got off of Amazon. It holds a lot of weight, so it's meant for holding canning things. And I've liked that a lot. If I did a whole lot more canning, I'd probably have a couple more of those shelves. This shelving was already here, and this shelf was upstairs in the kitchen, so we had just brought it down here to use. These wardrobes are already here. They have some of Judah's clothes in them, and he lives here all the time. We actually only had to buy that one shelf. Everything else was already here, including that shelving back there. A couple of years ago, we did not store much food at all. In fact, we would do these challenges like we're doing this month, but we call them pantry challenges, and we would just eat through all of the food that we had left, because I always had a little extra, but it wasn't much, and you don't want stuff to go bad or get lost in the back of the freezer. So we'd do a pantry challenge and just try to clear out all the food for a month. So when COVID went down, we were in Florida at my parents' house, and we had just finished a pantry challenge. So we were away from home, and when the whole world shut down, and we actually did not have extra of anything because we had just come off a pantry challenge. So after that experience, I mean, we had friends looking for rice for us in stores, and oh, it was a challenge. So after that experience, we decided, okay, we're gonna change how we do things for sure. And we started building up a food pantry. I always have had an extra of everything. I've always done that my whole marriage, running a household life, because it's a way I can go to the grocery store only once a month. When you run out of ketchup and have to run to the store, you know, it's way better if you actually have extra ketchup, have extra dishwasher soap, have extra of everything, so that when you run out, you just go to your own pantry and get the item extra. So I've always done that. You just do that by when you need something, you buy 2 instead of 1. And that's an easy way to build it up without it rocking your grocery budget in any way. So when we decided to build up a longer term storage, we didn't think about 6 months right away. We just thought about a couple months. The same concept applied. We actually decided to take some money and get ourselves a jump start. So we took about 1 month's grocery budget and bought a lot of the food, but it wasn't even enough for that many months ahead. So we still had to use the same concept, and if we didn't have that money to go ahead and buy all of the food ahead like that, or get a head start rather, we still could have done it by just buying a little extra each time. So every time we needed something, get several months worth of something instead of 1 month worth of something. So we've done that since then to build up our storage. It was, even with our 1 month grocery budget that we put toward it, it didn't even get anywhere near what you're seeing now. So we just kept doing that concept after that initial boost to build it up. So we could have done that from the beginning. It would have just taken longer maybe to get to the point that it is now. It definitely is possible. One of the biggest things I would recommend if you're thinking about doing this is to just buy foods that you actually eat. Most of our meals come out of what we store in our pantry, our beans and rice and our meat. We store a lot of frozen vegetables. I didn't show you my freezers. All of our meals mostly come out of that. We probably make 2 meals a month, sometimes 3 or 4 at the most, that take special ingredients that we have to buy. If you look at my grocery hauls, you'll see there's only a few meals that I talk about when I'm going around the table, because most of it comes out of our regular own grocery store, our pantry. So we only store foods that we eat, and we eat the foods that we store. So it's very simple. If I was you and wanting to start from the beginning, I would say, look at your regular foods that you eat. What is non-perishable items that you could store and that you could buy several months of instead of just 1 month of, or just 1 week of? You could buy 1 month of instead of 1 week of to start with. If you don't make a lot of foods that you could just store the ingredients for, I think it is a smart idea to learn how to cook from scratch and have some regular meals that you make that you could just store the ingredients for. I think it's wise on many levels. It's good to learn how to just cook from scratch. Listen, I am not a natural cook. I think my husband is. He can take all kinds of weird ingredients and weird cuts of meat or whatever and make a meal that tastes amazing. I don't have that gift. I know that about myself. It's not just a natural gift that I have like his. It's definitely a natural talent. But I have learned how to cook, and I've learned how to cook very tasty food by trial and error, by making myself learn how. And so it is possible no matter what, even if you feel like you can barely boil water, it is possible, trust me, because I am a walking testimony that you can learn how to cook good food. I have a lot of kids and a lot of mouths to feed. My husband works a lot. If I didn't learn how to cook, we would be in big trouble. So sometimes you just have to, but I'm so glad that I know how to now, and I could really make something out of these ingredients. I can make a whole lot of meals out of the food that we store. So I recommend that you learn how to cook from scratch, at least some things that you could store the food for. It's great to make a list. Make a list of meals that you already make and look at what you could store up. Maybe you make enchiladas a lot and you need enchilada sauce that you like to buy canned enchilada sauce. You could store up a lot of that, you know, and the ingredients to make tortillas, and learn how to make some tortillas. I'm still working on that skill. But there's a lot of things you can do. You might be surprised at how many meals could come out of a pantry. So I always take from the front and replace in the back. I'm not worried about things going bad because we go through food really fast with our big family. And all the food that you see here, we eat often. We eat often and regularly. So there's nothing that's sitting on these shelves for a really, really long time. Definitely not more than a year. And I'm not really worried about expiration dates because we are going through this food. It's hard to keep it replenished. It'll be interesting to see the dent we make in it in a month, but if we were to go 3 months on it, we would make huge dents. So my biggest tips is store what you eat what you store, and you can easily slowly build things up, especially looking for sales and stuff if you're on a tight budget. The other day I saw a sale on canned corn. I stocked up on it that month. Building grocery lists every month is also pretty easy for me because I just come over here and look at what looks low that I need to stock up on that month. So that makes things very simple. It's like restocking grocery shelves on a very, very small scale. I look like, well, we obviously need more cans of this. So my goals personally is I would love to be producing more of our food. Right now we barely produce any of our food. Basically maybe half of the canned spaghetti sauce you saw is really all I have learned how to preserve food a lot, but I would love to be able to preserve food that we are producing ourselves. So that's a big goal of ours. I would love to replace a lot of those canned items with homegrown food. But that's for the future. You know, it's always good to have goals. I would can a lot of green beans and carrots and different things that we currently buy frozen, just because we like the taste of it better than store-bought canned food, canned vegetables. But I think we would love the garden fresh canned vegetables better, so time will tell. But there's a lot of things I would love to replace on that storage shelf with things that we grew ourselves, and the same goes with meat. But that's another story for another day. We definitely would love to be producing more though, because I mean, that's really the goal, right? At least for us, is to not having to be shopping for all this stuff. I love and am very inspired by people I see online who are only shopping every 6 months or only shopping once a year. Although I don't know how I would feel about that after the whole COVID experience about eating down all our food and then shopping for all of it once a month. But I could see maybe getting to the point of shopping once every 3 months or once every 6 months to just replenish it. I do like having a big storage room full though, because you never know what will come what day. I think that year taught us that for sure. So I would love to not eat it all down to buy stuff, but maybe be able to space out shopping more, where we replenish a bunch and then we eat off of it for several months and then we replenish a bunch. So we'll always have like 9 months to a year. I think that would be a good goal to have, but we'll see. Who knows? If you guys have ideas about that or have something interesting that you do in regard to not shopping very often and replenishing a storeroom, I'd love to hear about it. We are building a new house currently, and we definitely have on our plans to have not only a pantry off our kitchen that's walk-in. Doesn't that sound dreamy? But I'm thinking for that, I would more love to have big counter space where we have all our machines, like the bread machines and the canners and all those things that we don't want out in the kitchen all the time. Instead of pulling them out of cupboards, just to have them always working, just like a working pantry kind of situation. But we are planning on having a big storage room where we can have very convenient storage for our food storage like this. And then we're also planning to have a root cellar, hopefully. So that's some of the things we've thought ahead about for our new kitchen. Also, if you have ideas for us about that when building a house and preparing for storing a lot of food, I would love to hear your ideas about that too. So thank you guys for watching today. I hope this was somewhat inspiring to you for the pantry situation. Maybe later this month I will do the same thing with our freezers and just kind of show you the deal with those. A lot has changed in our freezer situation too. So we'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.